RGC Podcast.
Hi, Rio Grande City. This is Melinda.
And this is Becky.
And welcome to another episode of Lunch Break
with Melinda and Becky with the city of Rio Grande City. This week, we have someone who I love very dearly because she is my mother. Her name is Cathy Rubio, and she is the Kelsey Bass Museum coordinator.
And she's our guest today. Before we jump in, we're going to go ahead and just talk about some events that we have coming up. Becky, go ahead and tell us.
So our first event that we have coming up is going to be on Friday, June 9th at the Fort Ringgold Auditorium. And you are going to get a little bit more information about that with our special guest today. But just to let you know, it is our Miss Freedom Fest Pageant. And it, again, will be at the Fort Ringgold Auditorium on June 9th. Anybody is welcome to join us and kind of see what all that's about in preparation for our upcoming Freedom Fest on July 1st.
We also have a groundbreaking for the Texas Regional Bank. That will be June 15th. So stay tuned on our social media for an updated time. And also we have some news from Rio Grande City Main Street. They have received their 7th consecutive national accreditation. So Rio Grande City Main Street has been designated as an accredited Main Street America program for meeting rigorous performance standards. Each year, Main Street America and its partners announce the list of accredited programs to recognize their exceptional commitment to preservation-based economic development and community revitalization through the Main Street approach. We want to congratulate Main Street for their hard work. The Main Street Advisory Board, they go above and beyond, and we just want to give them a great, big, huge congratulations.
Congratulations, guys. We're so proud of you. So let's go ahead and jump right in with our special guest today.
Hello, everyone. This is Cathy Rubio reporting for duty for the great city of Rio Grande City, and I am here with an exciting announcement. We are looking for a few good young ladies to take part in this year's patriotic extravaganza, Freedom Fest 2023. Are you up for the challenge? The 2023 Miss Freedom Fest pageant is scheduled to take place on June 9th here at the rgc-GISD Auditorium, located in the heart of this incredible landmark. If you're a young lady between the ages of 4 and 18, talk to your commanding officer, also known as your parent or guardian, and march yourself over here to the Kelsey Bass Museum, located at 101 South Washington Street, to pick up a registration packet. If you just want more information, call me at 956-487-0672, extension 2277, or email me at crubio@cityofrgc.com.
We're here today with Miss Cathy Rubio from the Kelsey Bass Museum. Welcome.
Well, thank you all so much. This is so exciting. This will be my second podcast in my whole entire 59 years. So I'm excited. Thank you.
So tell us a little bit about what you do at the museum.
Okay, well, you said librarian, so that's okay. I'm going to preface it by saying that I was a librarian for about 20 years. I worked at an elementary school librarian as an elementary school librarian, and then I retired from the school district, and I kind of just fell into the museum. A very good friend of mine, Sarah Hernandez, said that there was going to be a job opening. I applied, and sure enough, I got it. I've been working here since 2021. And being a curator at a museum is a lot like being a librarian. At the librarian, you are I call it the keeper of knowledge. And in the museum, I am the keeper of history, our local history, our state history, and just history in general. So it's a lot of fun there.
So what kind of for those that haven't visited our museum, what kind of exhibits do we have?
The exhibits pretty much run through things that you would find here in Rio Grande City. Of course, we have the history based on the building itself, which is called the Kelsey Bass Museum. It's named after two prominent families that lived in that museum, John Peter Kelsey and his wife Amanda, and then the Bass family that moved there around the 1950s. But we have farming exhibits, of course. Exhibits based on the founders of Rio Grande City, Henry Clay Davis and his wife Hilaria. We also have a beautiful timeline that has been there since before I got here, and it gives a lot of the history, not just of Rio Grande City, but of the region itself. We have a lot of farming equipment that is on display because that was a prominent piece of our history here in Rio Grande City. We had a lot of farming, big farms here in Rio Grande City. We also have there's a big patriotic element to our community. So we have a room dedicated to our native son, General Ricardo Sanchez, who born and raised in Rio Grande City and was in charge of the ground forces during Operation Iraqi Freedom. And then, of course, we have what I call my favorite room, which is the Veterans Memorial Room, which is chock full of pictures of our local veterans from World War II and on, and of course other military memorabilia in there. So yeah, we have lots of exhibits, lots to enjoy. I always say about the museum, she's small, but she's fierce. She packs a punch.
What kind of guests do we get?
Oh, we get guests from all over. Just recently, I had a lady who came, and she came twice actually, from France. And she did not speak any English or Spanish. And I speak English and Spanish, but I don't speak French. So Google Translate to the rescue. And I gave the whole tour through Google Translate. And she liked it so much, she came back a second time to come and see what we had there at the museum. We do get school groups. We get civic groups, of course. And sometimes we get a lot of winter Texans, of course. They come and they enjoy not just the trolley tour, but they also enjoy, the last stop is the museum, so they come in for that. But I've been getting locals lately who have said that they passed by and they've always seen the sign for the Kelsey Bass Museum, but they've never stopped. And so they stop by and a lot of them are repeat visitors and they come back with friends or family from out of town. So yeah, those are the kinds of visitors. And those are my favorite because I love to see their faces when they say, I didn't even know this had been here. This has been here all this time. Yeah, since 2016.
What other events does the museum have?
We hold a lot of, several events. We just hosted an event last week, a crafting event. I called it Mosaics at the Museum. And our lovely intern, Miss Idani, helped out with the flyer. And it was very successful. I tried to stop that event at like 25 people, but I just can't say no. And so I ended up signing up about 37 people. Out of the 37, we had about 34 show up. So that was a really good event. And I'm not a very big crafter, but I'm a good teacher. I used to be I was an educator for many years. So I told all the people that were there that day, the sign of a good teacher is when her students surpass her. And all of these people, with the exception of maybe two, did better than I did on their craft. So I was very happy with it. We do a lot of movies at the museum. Also, I like to show matinees. And of course, the popcorn brings them in, and hopefully the movie keeps them there. I show movies that are on the public domain because I don't have to apply for movie licensing for those movies. But like last year, we had a very successful event. It was the 70th anniversary of Viva Zapata. And Viva Zapata, for those who don't know, was filmed in Roma, Texas, which is our older sister city. But a lot of the extras were from here in Rio Grande City. And they didn't have speaking parts because back then, if you spoke, you had to get paid. And so they didn't want to pay. But a lot of the extras from this area especially, had very prominent parts in the movie. And I was really, really blessed to have two of the last living child extras from the movie come to our show and talk about what it was like filming in Roma and being on a movie set. Now, one of them sadly has died, Mr. Eddie Zevington. He had a part, there's a part in the movie where Zapata, played by Marlon Brando, and yes, Marlon Brando was in our area, played by Marlon Brando. He was a little child eating hay from a horse because he was so hungry, the little boy. And then he was getting whipped by the rancher, some rancher, and Marlon Brando defends him. And so Eddie, that was the part by Eddie Zevington, and he was here, thankfully, at the last showing of Viva Zapata that we had last year. And then Mr. Abel Gutierrez, who is a big patron of the museum. He comes to visit me every other week or so. He'll drop by just to see what's going on at the museum. And he had the part of, there's a part where there's a raid and there's this young boy. He's about 13 in the movie. He rescues these people, and Zapata asks him, "You need a reward. What do you want?" And he can't talk because he couldn't talk as an extra, but he whispers to someone. He says he wants his horse. To Zapata, Marlon Brando lets him ride off the horse, and he told us all there. The only reason I got that part was because I was the only one who knew how to ride a horse. Yeah. So that's how he ended up with that part in the movie.
Well, I know my husband's grandmother, she would talk about how, like, at that time, like, everybody was like starstruck and everything because they would be.
It was Anthony Quinn and Marlon Brando. I mean, they were here.
Yeah, that they would be like at the OST Cafe or something like that, and then like all the young ladies.
Well, Pinky told a story that Marlon Brando was driving through town. Miss Pinky works with the police station. And she tells a story how he was driving through town and he smelled this wonderful smell. And Miss Pinky's grandparents owned a little store on 2nd Street, Martinitas, for those of you who remember. And he stopped and she gave him a taco, and that he grabbed her and swung her around, that it was the most delicious thing he had ever eaten in his entire life. So yeah, Rio Grande, we have our share of filmology or film history here in this region. Yeah. Another film was, I've been trying to get that one to premiere it. I haven't been able to find any information on licensing, but it's called Harvest of Redemption. And it was filmed, about 20 years ago here in Rio Grande City. And one of the Kelsey Bass Museum board members, R.C. Salinas, played a part in that movie. I don't know if he speaks because I haven't seen the movie yet. I did buy it. So look out for that. That's coming up. Hopefully in September. Okay. And I want to have a showing of that. But there's other films, and there's either the whole film or parts of a film taken, I guess, the setting here in our area. We have great architecture, great buildings that can tell beautiful stories. Now we have gotten inquiries about film groups and things like that, independent films who want to come and shoot around here. So, maybe we're going to be the next hub, the next Austin, Texas, or Atlanta, Georgia.
So what are some other events that you take care of?
Let's see. Well, right now I'm taking care of the Miss Freedom Fest Pageant that is coming up in next week. Actually, next Friday is the great big pageant. And tomorrow is the deadline for registration. There will be a parent meeting on Thursday at the Kelsey Bass Museum, located at 101 South Washington Street. It will be in chambers after 5 o'clock. So for any parents who have questions, and even those who are still interested, we might be able to break a few rules and let them register. But really, registration deadline is tomorrow. And this pageant is open to girls ages 4 to 18. And we have 4 categories, and there will be lots of things up, not just the crown, not just a trophy, not just a sash, but jewelry and other gift certificates and things like that. So yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's stressful. Last year was my first year running this, and I told my supervisor, I've never done a pageant as a librarian. When I worked with the district, you're a jack of all trades and master of none. So I've done a lot of things with the school district, but I never run a pageant. So that was totally new to me. But you learn a few things. Once you do it once, you make your checklist and you figure things out. So this will be number 2. Let's hope it's like teaching. My first year, they couldn't pay me what I made my last year teaching to redo my first year teaching, but my second year teaching was much better. So I'm hoping my second pageant is much better than my first.
And the pageant, when is it? Or the pageant itself?
The pageant itself is June 9th at 4:30 at the Rio Grande, at the Fort Ringgold, RGC-ISD Fort Ringgold Auditorium.
Okay.
Next week.
Next week.
All right. So here we are. What else? Let's see.
I think that would be it. Do you have anything other like anything about the pageant itself? Like what?
Well, we're gonna have live music. I'll have
Okay.
Jay Muniz playing there. Let's see. It's no entry fee, so anybody who wants to come, it's open to the public. So anyone can come and support support the pageant itself, or of course support their favorite contestant, or come and see me. I'm a lot of fun on stage. I'm great on a microphone.
So then, what would, as far as like the pageant and the pageant contestants or the queens, once they're chosen, what role do they play in the?
Well, they are our Freedom Fest Royal Court, I call them, and they will, of course, be their first big duty will be at Freedom Fest itself, which is coming up July 1st, 2023. They will be there to announce cook-off winners, taco eating contest winners, and any other help that they might need for that night. And then, of course, they'll be presented to the commission because we're having the contest after our commissioners meeting. So it wouldn't be until the next week that they're officially presented to the city commission. But whenever the city has an event, I give them a call. Now, I believe our queen will give out the first pitch because I believe the first, there's going to be a tournament. Yes. And so our queen last year threw out the first pitch. And so this year's queen will do the same.
Okay. And then for Freedom Fest, that's July
1st.
July 1st.
Saturday.
That's an all-day event?
That's an all-day event, but the queens don't have to be there all day. They just, around the time when we're working on the judging of the cook-off, and we're going to start announcing winners, that's when they'll be there.
Yeah. All right.
Sometime in the afternoon.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's an all-day event, and it actually starts Friday.
It starts Friday with
June 30th.
Jackpot cook-off, and then we start the softball tournament on June 30th, and then July 1st is going to be the whole festival with the music starting at
6 o'clock, I believe.
PM.
Oh,
yes.
okay. So then the cook-off is the day before?
Well, there's two.
There's
We have
two
a
big
Jackpot cook-off happening June 30th.
Which is carne guisada and
fajita. And it's $25 pay-in for each category.
Okay.
So just to be clear, it's $25 per category. Sorry, like each category $25 pay-in with 100% payout.
Okay.
Right.
Thank you. I couldn't think of the word. With 100% payout if you win the category. Then on Saturday is going to be the full-blown like cook-off with the pork ribs, with the pan de campo, with the chili
and brisket, no?
Brisket,
things like that. And I'm hoping I get a bite this year.
Maybe.
Yeah. All my years, I haven't gotten a bite of brisket yet.
For those that are interested, though, for the cook-off, who do they call?
They're going to call Sergio Guerra.
They're going to call Sergio.
While Becky is looking at that number, it is Sergio Guerra. He's in charge of cook-off because that's the thing I've never done. I like to eat, but I do not have a discernible palate. Like they've joked, you want to be a judge? You want to be a judge? No, if it's meat and it's cooked and it's food, I'm going to like it all. So no, I don't have a discerning palate. So I would not be judge worthy. But if they want to offer me a taste, I'd love it.
So you can contact Sergio at 956-437-1882 or Roy, who is with our Chamber of Commerce, at 956-500-0561. And the cook-off itself is $100 pay-in. And we're going to be having first, second, and third place prizes. The Friday, June 30th, that's going to be a jackpot cook-off. So it's going to be for fajita and carne guisada, and it's a $25 entrance fee for each
Friday.
category.
Okay, so that's going to be a lot of fun and very delicious. I cannot wait. Let's see what else. And my queens will be there also. There will also be a taco eating contest sponsored by Tacos Acá. I made that call, and she was so excited to go ahead and she's going to be there that day. Tacos Acá will be one of our vendors. Oh, I take care of the vendors for Freedom Fest, also the craft vendors and the food vendors. So they can call me at 956-487-0627, extension 2277 for more information on being a vendor. But that's all in the flyers, and that can be found on social media. But yes, we're going to have lots of vendors there, but Tacos Acá will be one of them, and they are sponsoring our taco eating contest. And the 5 contestants, and the one that eats the giant, big, super stuffed pirata the quickest is going to win a special prize and bragging rights for the rest of the year. So, yes. So, yeah. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I can enter. Darn it. City employees are excluded. All right.
Okay, good to know.
Okay.
Okay, well, thank you, Miss Cathy.
Well, thank you all for having me. It was fun.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. And y'all have a great day. Don't forget, Miss Freedom Fest Pageant deadline is May 31st, parent meeting Thursday, June 1st, pageant itself June 9th, 4:30 at the rgc-GISD Fort Ringgold Auditorium. I hope to see you all there, and don't forget Freedom Fest. It's a lot of fun, our patriotic extravaganza, and I hope to see everyone there.
Excellent. Thank you. This podcast is an initiative of the City of Rio Grande City and the Rio Grande City EDC. If you would like to know more about certain topics pertaining to the municipality or have an idea for an upcoming podcast, email mgomez@rgc-edc.com or brubio@cityofrgc.com.
RGC Podcast.